Hello, my name is Marcelo Freitas, I am from Brazil, and this is a series of videos in which I will try to explain the preservation of the precise wording of the original text of the New Testament using the line of transmission or the flow of transmission of Family 35. We have already made a video explaining what textual criticism is, in which we explained that textual criticism works with a text that is considered to be lost. So we explained that the eclectical or the critical theory that dominates the theological seminaries around the world does not give a satisfactory answer about the preservation of the text. We also explained that in the opposite of that theory, Dr. Pickering defends the preservation of the precise wording of the original text using the Family 35. For this reason, he doesn't consider himself a critic of the text. We also made a video explaining which Greek text is used to make the different translations for the different Bibles that we have on market. These videos are in the description. In this video, I will explain what a family of manuscript is, and in the next one I will explain why Dr. Pickering called Family 35 the family that he prefers. Family is a group of manuscript, so Family 35 is a group of manuscript. In the beginning, it is necessary to collate, to compare, to do an empirical analysis of the manuscripts. When these comparisons are done, it is possible to find similarities in the manuscripts by the set of words, readings, or variation that the manuscript share. The fact that a group of manuscripts share a common selection of readings or variant that we may call the profile or the mosaic of that group permits us to classify the group as a family or maybe a text type. Usually family is smaller and text type is bigger. So Family 35 is a group of manuscript with the same profile, the same variations. So the group of manuscript is identified by a set of variations or readings that is exclusive to the group. The other groups doesn't have that set. The more exclusive the profile of the variant is, the more well-defined will be the group, differentiating that group from all the others. So the defining of the groups is an empirical work. In other words, in the end, it is by the profile, the assortments of words or variants that are exclusive to the family, that it is possible to identify the manuscripts that represents the family. It is by the agreements of manuscripts in groups that the families are identified. By identifying and separating the manuscripts that share the same profile, we have defined a family of manuscript. It is the shared variation in common that we call a profile. This profile of the group of manuscripts, therefore, works as a DNA, and when is identified the best manuscripts in the line of transmission, it is possible to better identify the profile, the DNA. That is, it is with the profile, the assortment of words or variants that are exclusive to the family, that the manuscripts that represent the family are identified. It is through the union of these manuscripts in groups that the families are formed. As a generalization, nor empirical, we may say that 50% of the individual words of the entire New Testament have 100% attestation from all the known manuscripts. Another 10% of the individual words have 99 of the attestation from these manuscripts. Another 20 have 95% of attestation. Only for 20% of the total words of the New Testament does the attestation fall below 95%. So those 20% are the key to get to the profile of any family. So the profile works like a DNA. To exemplify what we mean by DNA, let's get 3 verses of the Bible. We have Matthew 10:31, 12:15, and 14:5. These texts are real examples, but they were randomly chosen. So in Matthew 10:31 we have the word pollu. In 12:15 we have the word apantas. And in 14 verse 5 we have the word ephobeito. We know that is a private variant of family 35 because it has this symbol, those 3 pluses in the profile. So the layout of the profile would look like this. We cannot say with 100% sure that every time when a manuscript has those 3 words, it will be from family 35. That is because not every manuscripts were collated. But until this moment, those variants are exclusive of family 35. So it is almost sure that every time when a manuscript has those variants, it is going to be manuscripts from family 35. So how many families are there in the New Testament? Many. We can name, for example, family 1 and family 13. But those families only exist in the gospel. And there are other families that are only identified in a chapter or in a few verses. So you have many families, but in only small pieces of the Bible. The great advantage of family 35 is that it is the only one with a defined profile, with a proven profile that goes from Matthew to Revelation, that is the whole New Testament. Dr. Pickering began with a temporary profile of family 35. When he arrived at the presumed perfect profile, he had the archetypal form of the family. But archetype is a subject for another video. When you identify the family, you identify the line of transmission, since family is the line of transmission. They have these similarities, they share this common variation because they have a common influence. And the identification of the family or line of transmission depends on the collating of manuscripts. To collate a manuscript, it is to compare the manuscript with a base text. The choice of the base text is arbitrary. When Dr. Pickering is collating manuscripts of the family, he used as the base text the presumed archetypal form of the family as a matter of efficiency and a comparison of the different lines of transmission, once they have been empirically determined, should allow us to trace the transmission of the text through the centuries, beginning with the autographs. But the explanation about what is an archetype and how Dr. Pickering came to family 35, it's a subject for another video. Now that you know that is by the profile that you can identify a family, because you have the variants that distinguish one family from another, we need to know what is family 35's profile. The manuscripts that represents the family. In other words, the manuscripts that have the same profile. And once it is known the manuscripts that represents the family, it is possible to know why the family is called family 35. And we here emphasize again that family 35, it is the only family that is defined from Matthew to Revelation for the whole New Testament. You're welcome to bring doubts. We are here to ask questions, so please leave your comments. Thank you very much.